I'm joined by Minister in the Presidency, Mondli Gungubele. Minister Gungubele, thank you so much for speaking to us. Opposition parties have accused the President of avoiding the Palapala issue in Parliament today. Where are we with the investigation into the alleged theft of foreign currency from his farm in 2020? Minister Gungubele, if you could unmute yourself.
Sorry.
Excellent,
I'm
thank
saying,
you.
Good evening and good evening to your viewership. I think there's a lot of disingenuousness in this matter. The President has opted to subject himself to professional institutions that are skilled to investigate. Not only stop there, subjected himself to a process which is going to take off, which is a parliamentary process of highly placed legal people who have got a track record of adjudication. Those are tight, detailed, professional, capacitated institutions to come with a useful finding in this matter. All what people want is to subject the President to a parliamentary grandstanding which is not tested against anything, casting aspersions which are not subjected to any adjudication in Parliament. When the President has opted to subject himself to a parliamentary process which is tightly organized, informed by Section 189, where highly qualified people will come with credible results. All I'm saying, this is just an attempt to embarrass the President in an arbitrary manner, in an untested manner, and that ignoring that there's a thorough process to which the President has subjected himself to.
Aside from today's processes in Parliament, the President has asked South Africans at large, not just parliamentarians, to wait until those processes have unfolded. In the meantime, it seems that South Africans are growing frustrated with the length of time that they have to wait, and perhaps that mistrust is growing. So how long does the President expect South Africans to wait? When is the expectation that that investigation will be concluded and that the President can then take not only parliamentarians but all South Africans into his confidence?
When we say South Africans are impatient, are we speaking to individuals in society, political party leaders, or are we talking to South Africans who are impatient to a president who has subjected himself to established law enforcement agencies, to thoroughly organized processes of Parliament? And my appeal is, I understand the anxiety of not knowing what has happened to the President. I also appeal to the fact that if the President subjects himself to the credible institutions, it's useful to wait for that, because of the risk of subjecting the President to all these parliamentary grandstanding process, which I respect, by the way. But when you deal with a matter that has got a potential to impact on the President's person, whilst I respect Parliament, and I have been in Parliament and I'm a member of Parliament, when you deal with a matter that has got a potential to impact on his person, I think it is correct for the President to seek to align with the processes that are thorough, which are going to be adjudicated over, which are run by people who are skilled to investigate. And then later the President can come to the parliamentary exercise. But here, this is not just, for instance, I'll tell you, in Parliament, politicians are allowed to attack one another freely in whichever way. But there's a standing rule that if you are to impact on the person of an individual, you need what they call a substantive motion, because this is how the person of an individual is protected. It is organized in such a manner that you need a particular process, even that is well researched, where there's evidence and a number of other things. You don't allow to attack individuals willy-nilly and freely on matters that have got a serious possibility to impact on their person.
Coming back to those parliamentary processes, that session turned into chaos again, with the EFF interrupting the president's responses, allowing the House to descend into that kind of chaos. Is that the type of leadership that we need in the country, especially with citizens wanting to hear what the president had to say on a variety of issues?
I think what we are dealing with in Parliament is attention-seeking went wrong or going wrong. For instance, when EFF came in, I think it was around 2014, they had a belief that South Africa was ready to make them a government of this country. Since 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, it's about 6 or 7 years. They have never gone beyond 11%. And actually, in my view, they have reached a ceiling. And in my view, South Africans are not prepared to give them any other task other than a howling task. I guess the only way they can even keep 11% is by continuing to howl. And the only way that 10% can be there is by disrupting and so on. But if I were them, I would have come to my senses that understanding that South Africans are not prepared to give you any other task other than howling. You need to actually take a back step and re-examine yourself. I think here we're dealing with attention-seeking going wrong, and I'm very happy that our president has remained cool. Listen, we've got a president here. I've never seen a situation where people are so anxious and they are stampeding to crowd an individual who has subjected himself to all the established institutions of investigation, including a parliamentary process. When you have no concrete information of what has happened, where is this impatience coming from? They are trying to take the best they can. Listen, recently, the president has been rated high in South Africa, even rated higher than the ANC. Compared to all these leaders, go and check your surveys. They have not been comparing to the president. I think, to me, this is a political scam to actually take the best they can take out of the president looking at 2024. Because how can I explain it when they lose patience to the law enforcement, to the hawks, they lose the patience in South African Reserve Bank, they lose patience in SARS, they lose patience in their own process, which is going to be run by established judges. When they lose patience in those processes, how else can I reach my conclusion other than saying it's a political impatience, it's panic, it's an attempt to actually rise at the expense of a president who has been enjoying credibility for a long time now in this country.
I'd like to get the presidency's reaction on the incidents of people being blocked from getting access to medical facilities.
Listen, I think there is a problem in our country, and which is a reason why the Minister of Labour is actually processing a policy on migration. The Vulindlela program is also dealing with that. The problem we have in South Africa, we've got high level of unemployment, inequality, poverty, and we've got a lot of undocumented non-South Africans who South Africans seem to believe that all their suffering are as a result of those people. It's unfortunate in the sense that it's got a potential to undermine a critical relationship in the entire SADC region, because these countries need one another. It must be possible for neighboring country patients to access our health facilities. Actually, it brings me to another point that I'm very happy having listened to our doctors, to our health professionals, that they are not going to use their national prejudice, political prejudice, religious prejudice in attending to these patients. But I call upon all South Africans, please let us not use our frustration with regard to access to work and actually allow and exercise it on the ordinary Africans who seek help and genuinely so, who are in their vulnerable mode. Because it is key that us South Africans who have these facilities, we must do our best to share with the neighboring countries. But of course, there is no one who can run away from the fact that we must do all this in the legally, in the legally established manner. But I appeal to South Africans, let's not do that.
Well, thank you very much, Chef, for your time this evening. That was Minister in the Presidency, Mondli Gungubele.